The plot to Spider-Man No Way Home has just been leaked, and I'm going to tell you, huge spoiler warnings ahead. The movie starts off with everybody in the world knowing Peter Parker's true identity as Spider-Man, after Mysterio and the events of No Way Home exposed him. Peter, wanting to get his name cleared, consults with Doctor Strange, who agrees to help cast a spell on the entire world to forget Peter Parker's identity as Spider-Man, which is when we get this in the trailer. Peter Parker accidentally interrupts the spell and creates 3 different branches. These branches, as you see above, represent 3 different timelines: Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland's Spider-Man universe. Now here's the plot of the rest of the movie. After Doctor Strange's spell goes completely wrong, the 3 universes combine and we get this. There's a scene with Green Goblin and the rest of the Spider-Man villains. Green Goblin, aka Norman Osborn, awakes alongside Dr. Octopus from Spider-Man 2, Venom from Spider-Man 3, Sandman from Spider-Man 3, the Lizard from The Amazing Spider-Man 1, Jamie Foxx's Electro from The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and presumably the Vulture. Green Goblin then asks all the villains around him how they got there. All of them answer is that the last memory they have is Spider-Man killing them. That's when our villains decide to team up, and they start causing destruction in New York, trying to find the whereabouts of Peter Parker. That's when Doctor Strange uses this cube to capture all the villains and protect the entire city of New York from their destruction. However, Norman Osborn, aka Green Goblin, figures out a way to communicate to Peter Parker, aka Tom Holland, and lets him know that if they are returned back to their original timelines, all of them will die. That's when Peter decides to take the box from Doctor Strange and the 2 of them proceed to fight, which is where we get that fight scene on the train of them in the trailer. Eventually, Peter gets a hold of the box and breaks it, releasing the villains. That's when Peter realizes he made a crucial mistake and needs some help. He consults with Doctor Strange and apologizes for taking the box, and the 2 of them agree to get the Spider-Man from both of the other timelines, aka Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. This is where this huge sequence comes of them teaming up, and we see a rematch of these Spider-Mans taking on their original villains. Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is going to fight Dr. Octopus, which is when we see in the trailer Dr. Octopus saying "Hello, Peter," which is directed towards Tobey Maguire. We're going to have the Lizard being faced off against Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. However, Tom Holland's Spider-Man is going to be fighting the Green Goblin. However, it's also rumored that Sandman from Spider-Man 3 is actually going to work together alongside the Spider-Man to help defend off the villains. Which, if you remember from Spider-Man 3, Tobey Maguire forgives Sandman and they become on good terms. Which is why we see in the trailer Sandman right here protecting this Spider-Man from Electro. By the way, this Spider-Man is rumored to be Tobey Maguire, considering the silver lining in the suit. But this is where we get our final fight scene, which takes place at the Statue of Liberty. All 3 Spider-Men work together and take down all of the villains, and our 3 Spider-Man return all of our villains to their original timelines. Now this movie is going to end on a cliffhanger like usual. It's not going to say whether or not these 2 Spider-Man went back to their original universe just yet. Anyway, that's the movie. Make sure you're following, because I bet you didn't know,